Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 287. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. It's Wednesday Motivation and Inspiration. And today, guess what? There's 4 months left in the year. Today, as I am recording this, it is August 30th, 2023. This coming Friday is September 1st. And it will officially be 4 months left in the year. The question that I want to ask you today is, what are you going to do with the last 4 months of this year? What's important to you? What goals are you going to accomplish? How much impact are you going to have on others around you? How many friendships are you going to let go of that you keep holding on to? When are you going to start speaking your mind to your family members and your friends about how you feel about certain things? All the questions that I feel the need to want to ask you today. This is about you today. What's going to motivate you or inspire you to change your mindset on certain aspects of your life? How are you going to change your narrative, which I briefly discussed on Monday's podcast? How are you controlling your destiny? I asked you those questions on Monday's podcast if you listened to it. If you did not listen to it, after this one, please go back and listen to podcast 286 on Monday. How I spoke on controlling my destiny and how you guys need to control yours. Last 4 months, it's important to make sure that you're on track to go into 2024. If you want to change your diet, you want to change your mental focus, start figuring out what you feel is necessary and what's right. And if you want to find someone, a good coach or whoever, find them, right? Because they're going to help you go a long way. They're going to hold you accountable. And maybe you're not comfortable with that. And maybe you're okay with listening to a motivational speaker or someone who will push you to be great. There are people who push me to be great. Some of them are friends. Some of them are motivational speakers, businessmen, things of that nature. You guys know, I'm a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk and Eric Thomas. Those are my top two. And Inky Johnson, he's a great motivational speaker. I do listen to a lot of their clips and their videos, and I try to piece together things that they incorporate into their lives, into mine. So here's what I'll say. The last 4 months for me will be very important for me. And I will share, what I'm working on and the projects that I'm focused on, for next year. That will be on Friday's Book Insight Friday podcast. So more incentive to stay tuned till Friday to find out what I'm focused on and what I'm currently working on, right? You've spent this whole year doing all the things that you needed to do. But did you do the things that you wanted to do? There's a difference, right? So you may have done all the things you needed to do, like taking care of yourself, your finances, your self-care, your family, if you have a family, if you have kids, trying to make sure that you are not excluded from, what I'm saying. You've, made sure that you have, paid your bills and, make sure that you stay afloat and all this stuff, right? Because the world's been crazy, right? All these catastrophic, events that are happening, fires, wildfires, earthquakes, tornadoes. You got inflation, gas prices haven't really gone down that much. All of these political campaigns and agendas that are going on, and a whole myriad of other things that, we're all starting to keep, our eyes glued to and paying attention a little bit, but not letting it get to us. But the question is for 8 months, have you really done anything that you've wanted to do? I don't know. You tell me. I know that I've done all the things that I've needed to do, but I've also done some things that I've wanted to do, right? I wanted to, make some, new friends. I did. A lot of them. That's the crazy part. And I've gone to a couple of baseball games. I've gone to basketball games. I've done my share of things that I've wanted to do since I've been here. Gone out to some great restaurants. Had some really, cool experiences so far. I know the last 4 months will be good for me in regards to hanging out with friends. And some of these friends may not be around early next year because of life and changes that will be happening with their lives. So doing my best to cherish those moments. But these last 4 months, I want you guys to think about what's important to you. And yes, you've done all the things you've needed to do. Now it's time to do the things that you want to do, whether it's figuring out a gym routine, starting your new business, finding a new job, getting a pay raise, maybe quitting your job and taking a leap of faith and focusing on what you want to do with yourself, maybe moving out of the state you've lived in all your life, all of these things, right? There's someone that I know, she's, now a good friend of mine, and she took a leap of faith and she left her home state and moved here. And she does have family that lives here. That's great. And she went to school and, here, and she just graduated and she's, on to becoming a nurse. Right. But she said, she told, a few of us her story. She did not want to stay, where she went to high school with people, and she wanted to leave and, figure things out for herself and learn about herself. And it's a beautiful thing, right? So sometimes, you do need to do that. Maybe it's time you do say to yourself, all right, I've had enough of living here. Time to go live somewhere else, right? Maybe you're tired of living in the cold. You want to live in a warmer state, right? Plenty of warm states to live in. It's not just Florida and California, I'll tell you that. There is Nevada, there's Arizona, obviously, New Mexico, Texas. I'm not too high on Texas, but hey, I've heard people that have lived there and they do all right for themselves. So there are plenty of places, right? So what goals do you want to accomplish in these next 4 months? What I'm saying is don't wait till January 1st, 2024 to decide, oh, well, it's time for me to make some New Year's resolutions. This is not about that anymore. This is about setting goals weekly, monthly, and going after it. So if you want to change your mindset on life, start now, not January 1st. Because if you start January 1st, I promise and guarantee you, you're not going to hold up to your own part of the bargain. Do it for yourself. Don't do it for others. Prove yourself right, not wrong. Not prove everyone wrong. And do it to better your life. I think that's the biggest component. I want you guys to be happy. I always say that, and I want you all to reflect back on things that you've accomplished and be proud of yourself. Don't hold back. Don't try to appease everyone in the world either. Maybe it's that you change the last 4 months of the year. You start changing things, right? I did it. The end of last year, I will say within a 2-week time period, I let go of 2 friendships. One of 6 years and one of like 20 plus years, because it was time. and it was necessary and it was needed. And my life has continued on, and I've pushed on to bigger and better things. And I wish those two people well, but not to be a jerk, but they're probably still living a life of monotony. But that's them, and that's their life, not mine. Remember, you can't take everyone with you into next year. So start letting go now instead of carrying them into next year. I'm going to leave that as the last thing I say in regards to the last 4 months of this year. I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. I hope you guys stay focused. I hope you guys think about all of what I've said. I thank you for listening to my podcast. Have a good week, everyone. Be good, everyone, and go accomplish your goals.